clock. Gilliam rebounds the Cartwright miss and then turns it over. But the whistle and the foul on Chicago. That'll be 3 on Horace Grant. That's just what you don't want with 4.8 to go in the half, which is why oftentimes the substitution happens then.
Well, that'll be Horace Grant's 3rd foul, so they need him in this ball game because of his quickness around the offensive boards. And at 6'10" on Sunday, he did a super job. 22 points, and he also had 7 offensive rebounds, so very, very aggressive and active.
They only plays Philadelphia leading Chicago in this game. They're 13 of 18 from the free throw line. Chicago only 5 of 8.
Well, that's what I talked about a while ago, Bob. In the series, the 76ers have made 106 free throws. Chicago only 59, so that's a difference of 47 free throws, but 174 field goals to 130. 44, they have 88 more points from the field.
Chicago, 14, Craig Hodges, replacing Horace Grant.
Craig Hodges comes in to get Horace Grant with his 3 fouls. And 4.8 seconds remaining in the half.
Now, Bill Cartwright does a very nice job of throwing the ball long. So look to see if he steps out of bounds, tries to throw the ball maybe to half court, and then push it ahead.
Sixers pulls it within 7. Hodges is the one guy who can hit that, not this time. At the half, the Bulls lead it by 7. 58-51. Charles Barkley, 18 points in the first period, only 2 points and no field goals in the second quarter. Well, the Chicago Bulls lead it by 7. They shot 53% in the first half. Out-rebounded the 76ers, protected the basketball. Sixers have not played very good interior defense, have not rebounded well, yet it still is a 7-point game.
Well, when you look at the game, though, Chicago was in complete control. And you used the word in there, they almost toyed with Philadelphia in the one stage. The one thing that helped is they finished the half strong. They got it to a 7-point deficit. They've got to come out now in this third quarter, but they've got to do it by playing some defense, Bob. I mean, they 53% field goal shooting for Chicago. Scottie Pippen 11 for 12. And when you shoot like that, that means you're shooting a lot of layups. 8 offensive rebounds. You talked about the out-rebound them 27-17 plus 10. Bench scoring 12-3. I mean, just every phase of the game. Second chance points 13-4. You got a 7-point game. There's a 9-point difference right there. So it almost appears right now that Philadelphia is looking to try to outscore Chicago here, and they're not going to do that in Chicago Stadium. I've alluded to that a couple times. Here's Pippen with a beautiful 180 reverse dunk.
And you talk about the bench. Will Perdue played very well in addition to Scottie Pippen, who had 24 points, 5 rebounds. Perdue played in for a few minutes, and as you pointed out, the middle was open, the blocking out wasn't there, and it allowed plays to get inside the middle.
Manute Bol roams. You're going to see Barkley here on the drive. Charles had a big first half. He had 20 points, but only 2 in the second quarter. He missed 4 free throws, 6 of 10. But with Will Perdue, he's matched up against Manute Bol. Either he or Horace Grant are in the ball game when Cartwright are out. When Manute goes over to block shots, it leaves a path. Here, watch Will Perdue. Now, here comes Manute. Now, no one blocks out Will Perdue. There's an opportunity basket. So Will 4 for 5 for 8 points. He had an offensive rebound, did a nice job. 3 total rebounds, 8 points.
Bulls 58, Sixers 51, heading into the second half, and what the Bulls hope will be the last half of play in 1991 versus Philadelphia, so the Bulls could move on to the Eastern Conference Finals. They have not been contested in the first 2 rounds thus far.
Seems like they opened the game up in the third quarter by going into Armand Gilliam in the low post.
Ricky Green opened from 19, rebound Jordan. Teams with the same starters on the floor at the beginning of the game at this half. Bulls with 10 to shoot. Right inside to Grant. Mahorn with a rebound. His 4th of the game.
Rick Mahorn had the 1 outside jump shot. He did not have another field goal, so you talked about it, Bob. Sunday, the same situation. It's only 1 field goal for Rick Mahorn.
Williams' turnaround jumper won't fall. Cartwright with the rebound. Here's Pippen, who just had a career first half. He hasn't cooled off any.
See, the thing with Scottie Pippen is when he plays screen roll, you go underneath the screen so he doesn't turn the corner on you. Scottie's now making that little jump shot. So when he does that, you have to make an adjustment. You might have to start trapping that screen roll and try to get the ball out of his hands. Play it like you play when you play Michael Jordan.
That foul's on Pippen, his third. Give me an opportunity to remind you this program's authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the NBA solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or the use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the NBA is prohibited.
It's interesting, Phil Jackson has left Scottie Pippen on Charles Barkley. He's afraid here maybe picking up his fourth foul. I wouldn't be surprised to see Horace Grant go over and switch off on him. You do not want Pippen to pick up his fourth foul. They have a 7-point lead, and the game is still very much on the line.
That's Barkley's first field goal since the first quarter. Look at that pass to Grant. Then the offensive board. Now that is toying. That was an incredible pass. 7 points, 8 rebounds for Horace Grant.
There's the switch. Now you have Horace Grant playing Charles Barkley. That's a good move by Phil Jackson.
Barkley spins inside. Everybody in the league has tried to stop Charles one-on-one at one time or another. And if he wants it down on the line, it's going to get it.
Well, you have to double team him, really. That time Phil chose not to double team him.
Michael Jordan from 8 feet away. And Michael has 15. He is 7 of 17 from the floor tonight.
He's bothered by tendonitis in that knee. I talked to the team doctor at halftime. He said Michael could use a few days rest. The knee is sore and bothering him, and that a few days could really help him going into the next series.
Barkley there delivering the ball on the offside to Armand Gilliam. 7-point Bulls lead. 9 minutes to go, third quarter. Jordan. 17 points. He doesn't want to be the only member of the Bulls starting five to shoot under 50%. He's right at 50 for the series coming into this game, so he's got to get up there at 50% level.
Watch how long it takes for Michael to go from 17 to 30 when he really wants to score. Normally that jump doesn't go that quickly. It's not that easy.
Hersey Hawkins, he's got his mind in the hip pocket of Jordan with a jam. Bulls by 11. Timeout, Philadelphia. Here are tonight's Nissan leaders. You see the defense Chicago has been playing, holding their opponents to just over 90 a game.
The maturity of Scottie Pippen. Bob Neal, we take a look here. Little screen roll. Now, if Scottie Pippen, as you see him right here, is considered, if he's considered an outside jump shooter, what you try to do is the big guy playing here has got to step up, and they try to trap this screen roll. You see here the difference, though. Charles Barkley goes underneath the screen. Mahorn drops back, and they're going to give him this little outside jump shot. Scottie Pippen is now making that shot. Barkley underneath the screen, Mahorn back. Little 17-foot jump shot. Scottie's burying it.
Scottie Pippen with 26 in this game tonight. Jordan was 6 out of 16 in the first period, but 3 out of 3 here in the third. 8:18 to go. Bulls by 11. Ricky Green finds an opening down the lane. Ricky Green. Ricky Green, the 13-year veteran from Michigan, has 9 points.
You know, Scottie Pippen is playing this game as a point guard. John Paxson actually is playing as an off guard. Michael Jordan almost as a small forward. Pippen is on fire.
He's in the oft-mentioned zone, 13 of 14 from the floor tonight. There's the double team on Barkley. He finds Gilliam, who finds the bottom of the net. Gilliam has 13 in this game, 2 away from his average on the series. Cartwright on the baseline, and Mr. Bill gets his 6th points of the night.
Bulls are just taking turns. Your turn, my turn. John Paxson's the only one that has not scored.
Got an offensive foul down on the baseline.
hesitation on that shot by Scottie Pippen. Much improved shooter. Charles Barkley with a foul off the ball.
His second. They had to get the shot clock right as they inbound the ball. 7:09 to go in the third. 72-61 Chicago. Ron Anderson in for Philadelphia. Cartwright in the paint for Gilliam. Rebound Jordan. Loose ball foul, Philadelphia.
Personal foul.
That's 3 on Gilliam.
Well, this is Chicago in the playoffs. You see scoring margin up to 14, field goal percentage 446, playoffs allowing less than 91 points a game.
Hawkins played up on Jordan, tried to dump it into Horace Grant. Turnover. Only the 4th turnover of the night for the Bulls.
See the pad on Hersey Hawkins' leg, Bob. We talked about in the first half that he hit his leg. You can see that he's got a pad on it now and is still favoring that leg very much.
Hersey Hawkins with 10 points in this game. None in this half. And the hold will be called and charged against Hersey Hawkins.
Foul 33, Hersey Hawkins, his third, the team's second.
There you see that pad on the left thigh, really just above the knee. Paxson, Jordan is posted. He is so quick to the hoop. Missing the lay-in, but he's fouled down there from Chicago Stadium. The Bulls leading 72-61. 6:21 to go in the third quarter. This is game 5. Bulls leading 3-1 and hoping to close it out at home here tonight.
He shoots 2.
Jordan, on what we called earlier his off night, has 20 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, headed for a triple-double. This is the kind of night Jordan needed, though, because I have a feeling if the Bulls do get into a 18, 20-point lead, which you feel they are capable of doing in this game, we'll see Michael getting a lot of rest.
That's why I'm sure Phil Jackson would really like for this team that's on the floor right now to really gear down the defense, blow out a lead, discourage the Sixers about winning this game so he can rest his starters, specifically Michael and Bill Cartwright.
That's the Bulls' biggest lead, by the way, at 13. Philadelphia ball on the sidelines out of bounds. Robert Reed checks in for the Sixers. He wears number 50. Bulls with that full-court pressure.
What makes that pressure so effective is that Horace Grant on the point of that press at 6'10" can chase and double-team the ball and still have the speed and quickness to get back to his man. So he's really the one, Bob, that makes that press go.
Jordan to Pippen. Pippen leads Cartwright by a lot.
Scotty, you got to know who you're throwing to there, buddy. You know those big guys, when they're running, that wasn't to get them to catch and stop at the
Wasn't Horace Grant or Michael over there.
Scotty's laughing about it, too.
74-61 Chicago. Barkley against Horace Grant. Set shot.
And the Chicago will give him that shot all night long.
Michael. He got a hand on that. And Pippen fouled Charles Barkley. And that will be
Personal foul 33, Scottie Pippen, his fourth, the team's
That may be the only way to cool Pippen down tonight is to get 5 fouls on him. That's his 4th.
You know, Phil's one of the few coaches in the league that allows a guy to stay in with 4 fouls at this particular time. And, you know, he gambles sometimes, and you hope that Pippen does not pick up his 5th right now before the 4th quarter starts. They're going to go to Ron Anderson to try to pick up the 5th foul on Pippen.
Ron Anderson just definitely off his shooting rhythm. He's not been able to get anything going tonight. Gilliam on the drive is fouled.
Chicago personal foul.
It's on. Paxson, it's 3rd.
His 3rd, the team's 3rd.
Can Philly come back from a 3-1 deficit? Well, the Sixers know it can be done. Unfortunately, they were on the other end of it in 68 and 81.
Bob, let me tell you a story about that 81. I remember being in Philadelphia at that time, broadcasting for the Sixers. It was my last year playing there. up 3-1. The Celtics come back and win. The next year, come back again. We're up 3-1 again. The same thing happens. The series goes to 3-3, going back to Boston Garden, go into Boston Garden, and all these people are dressed in white sheets like the ghosts of